Welcome to the Blerdsnerds podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Blerdsnerds podcast. I'm James.
And I'm Jaja.
And we are without Shannon this week. She's out, but we'll try to hold her down best we can. Shannon, we'll try not to run this thing into the ground for you.
You know, we got to give her the shout out of shame though, because whenever someone's late or someone's missing.
Yeah, Shannon's quick to harass, so we'll dish out some harassment back. Not too much.
So, but we got this for you, Shannon. Hope it's a good pod.
Yeah. But actually, let's give Shannon some appreciation for building this thing, because I've been listening for years, and then Shannon's been keeping it going for that long. So shout out to Shannon for that.
No, for real. She's been holding it down.
We're giving her flowers.
I know I feel like a part of this pod, but she's really the one doing all the groundwork and the footwork. So definitely want to give her flowers.
Yeah.
And hopefully all her hard work pays off in whatever she wants to do.
And she'll be the one editing this too. We're just recording and sending it to her. So shout out to you, Shannon. Also, shout out to Mel too. We got to give Mel her flowers. We don't talk about Mel. But yeah, shout out to you, Mel.
She got to come on the pod.
Yeah, Mel, come on camera sometime.
Yes. Appreciate all you guys.
Yeah, big time. All right, Jaja, you want to get into some nerdy things? What's the nerdy things you've been up to this week?
Nerdy things. I feel like it's been a good geek week or two for me, because last week I came in here raving about Rank of the Kings and Attack on Titan's been on, and I know you guys been talking about Bel-Air, and I caught the first 2 episodes of Bel-Air, so I started on it. I wish I was up to date now that I've seen the first 2 episodes. We can talk about that a little later. Still been playing the Elden Ring, so when we get to video games, I got a little revised take on the Elden Ring saga that I'm doing, just like every other content creator out there. So everyone's got an Elden Ring video. It's crazy. What else have I been doing? What else have I been watching? That's it. I didn't realize the first part of the 4th season of Attack on Titan, the dub was out, and some of the second part. So I started the 4th season, part 1, and honestly, I really, really, really like the dub. Like, I don't know if I get to just pay attention more to what's actually going on, or if I'm just processing the information a little bit faster, or I don't know, it's a little bit more clear. I feel like I'm understanding the story a lot. So I don't know if you remember the proposal that I made to you guys. I wanted to do I guess you could call it a rant on all the things I saw foreshadowing the ending that supposedly doesn't make any sense, but they foreshadowed it throughout the show the whole entire time. Nothing has changed. So I don't know if we're gonna do it part of a episode, or have it be its own separate little special side episode, but we could talk to Shannon and Mel on that. But I'm gonna go back and take my notes and have a long list of quotes and references straight from the anime. No assumptions, no assuming, no guessing what the writer was trying to say. I'm gonna get it straight from the show.
Nice.
Stick to the facts, and hopefully we can make some sense out of this Attack on Titan debacle. Hopefully it's not a debacle when the anime ends. Hopefully it's just everyone understands what's going on.
Gotcha. Okay, we need that.
But that probably sums up my nerdy things for the week.
Nice. Let's see, what have I been up to? I've been playing that Guardians of the Galaxy game. So I played it on PC. It actually, when I loaded it up, I was going to play it again last week Sunday, and then it said my game save was corrupted, so I had to start over, and I was like, all right, never mind. So I stopped playing it. I'm not playing that anymore.
So you have no game save right now?
None. Yeah. So I don't know what happened to it. It just said it was corrupted. So there goes that Guardians of the Galaxy. It was a solid game though. So I mean, I'm not mad at it. I was just salty that I had to restart, but other than that, it was a good game. It was probably, I don't know if it was my PC or the game itself, but something conked out, and it just corrupted. So I went on to a different game. So actually I picked back up Cyberpunk. I've been playing that pretty heavy. It's actually really, really good after they did the next gen update. So I'm playing it on PS5, and then some of the PS5 specific features I kind of forgot were even features on PS5, like the controller noises. I forgot the controllers made sound. So the first time I heard it, I was like, wait, what happened? because I thought my phone was in my lap making noise, and I was like, I've never heard that noise on my phone, but then I remember, oh yeah, the controller. And then stuff like the adaptive triggers on the PS5. So when you're shooting, you can feel the trigger pull of the guns, or if you're driving, you can feel like the resistance of the pedal, or even when you change gears, you can feel like the quick release and then tightening back up. Like it's very submersive, I'll say, on PS5. And then it's still a little bit buggy. It crashed once on me during like a cutscene, but when I loaded it back up, I was like at the exact same kind of point where it crashed. So it wasn't too horrible of a crash, and it looks beautiful. It has ray tracing. So I do PS5, and then I have my 4K TV with the ray tracing enabled. So it's not as high of a frames per second. So I think it's capped at 30 when you're doing ray tracing on PS5, but visually it looks stunning. Like when it's raining, you can see the rain roll off of people's umbrellas. Like it's that detailed. So
nice.
They definitely picked the ball back up. They dropped the ball on the release, but they're getting it back now. I can see like if this is the real vision they have for the game, then yeah, they're putting out real good. So yeah, shout out to Cyberpunk. I'm gonna keep on playing that. I'm gonna hopefully finish it sometime soon. I'll probably do a couple of different playthroughs because there's I hear 5 different endings, so I want to see if I can get all the different endings. It depends on whatever choices you make in the game. So I'll definitely play through that a couple times. I got caught up in Ranking of Kings, well, the dub. So I'm up to late episode 17. That's the latest one.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, and then I watched the Jujutsu Kaisen movie, JJK Zero.
Ooh,
yeah,
nice.
that was really good. So if you're a Jujutsu Kaisen fan, definitely check out Jujutsu Kaisen Zero. It's in theaters right now. Or if you don't feel comfortable going to theaters, it'll be on streaming sometime soon, probably this summer. But yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen Zero, it's a prequel too, so it's all canon. They mentioned some of the characters mentioned in the show that you didn't actually get to see. And you do get to see Gojo fight a little bit. So all the Gojo stands out there, you get to check him out in action.
All right.
Yep.
I gotta check that out.
Nerdy things. Yeah. Also, shout out to Jaja's shirt. We look like that's a nice shirt, man.
Yeah, you like this shirt?
Yeah,
got the Blerdsnerds logo right there. We about to mass produce this thing.
Nice. We got some merch now.
All right. Anybody looking for Blerdsnerds merch, put in your request right now. We see what we can do.
Yeah, first come, first serve.
But before you get off your nerdy things, I wanted to say about the next gen consoles. I'm starting to feel the pressure to upgrade. And at first I was thinking to get, let me just upgrade to the XS, to the white one, and just have like a next gen console to hold me over until like I feel like I really need the Xbox One X, because I feel like there's just not that many games out for me to get a next gen console yet. But in playing Elden Ring and just playing a bunch of games that are on both systems, and even in streaming the Xbox One X versions of the game, I'm going to tell you the loading times makes it worth it. The graphics and makes it worth it. Those two things alone, like, makes me want to upgrade, because I'm sick of the long waiting times. And I know on Xbox S, it's a lot faster. So when I stream it, it loads faster on my Xbox One. So, and the graphics, like I was watching a video or reading an article, and they were saying like the Xbox One version of Elden Ring is probably the worst version of the game. Visually, yeah, it's just not, it doesn't perform as good. And the PS4 is not that much better, but it's better than Xbox One. So it sucks that I'm playing the worst version of the game. And when I'm watching like streams or videos on it, I can tell the difference. Like, I'm like, wow, why does your game look like that? And my game looks like complete trash. So yeah, I'm getting pressured to upgrade. So see what happens.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, we hopefully can find a system pretty easily. And the bots are still out here botting.
Right. They're saying that the Xbox One X's aren't that hard to find. So hopefully when I decide to get one, it's right there.
Yeah. And your Switch too, right?
And my Switch. You can't forget the Switch. I might wait for the next Switch, like the remodeled Switch. They always come out with like I know they came out with the Lite, but they were talking about coming out with like a better docked version. So trying to see I don't want to buy a Switch and they come out with a new one right after. Like, that's what I feel like is gonna happen.
That would definitely suck.
But that Pokemon, boy, everyone's talking about it.
Oh yeah, hopefully it's out before the next gen Pokemon. What's it, Scarlet and Violet?
And I was even thinking, I'm like, not even on my Pokemon Go, I'm playing it now with the mindset that like someday I'm gonna get a Switch, or someday I'm gonna get Pokemon, and I might want to transfer some of these over. So I'm like, I got a little group that I'm like, all right, these are my to transfer to the game, to the Switch game Pokemon
Yeah.
that I'm gonna use. So it's fun. I'm preparing to jump into that hopefully sometime soon.
Oh, nice. All right, let's jump into some video game news then. Harry Potter, Hogwarts Legacy, the gameplay. You want to talk on that?
Are you a Harry Potter fan?
I'm not.
Okay, so I'm not a huge Harry Potter fan. I forgot. I think Shannon is. I think Shannon's a huge Harry Potter fan, if I'm
I
not
feel like
mistaken.
Shannon is. I'm pretty sure Shannon is. I feel like that's something Shannon will be into.
But like my whole thing with Harry Potter was like the Harry Potter came out the same time as like Lord of the Rings, right? It was like you're either into one of those or both or neither. And I was a Lord of the Rings person. Like I was like, forget Harry Potter. Especially in the early days, the first couple movies, it was a lot of build up, setting up the characters. Like I was interested in Harry Potter, but I wanted to see it for the magic. Like show me the spells. I want to see fighting with the spells. I want to see some action with the spells. You know what I mean? But they did a lot of setting up the whole world in the first couple movies, and I haven't seen them all, so I can't really like don't quote me on anything. But I think the one that I saw in its entirety was Order of the Phoenix, and that's the first one that I saw like they really went into like using the magic. Everyone knew what they were doing, and they were just letting spells go. It's a nice battle at the end between like I forgot the Voldemort, the real evil guy. So that's the type of stuff that I like to see from Harry Potter. So watching the gameplay of this game, it looks like you're gonna get all that and more. Like you're gonna get the dueling, you're gonna get the learning the spells, exploring the world, you're gonna meet all the characters, go to places you haven't even got to see in the movies. Like this game, like it's 15 minutes of, I don't know if you watched the video, but it's 15 minutes of them explaining all the features and stuff that you can do in the game. And for it to be 15 minutes long and them not talk about something like too long or twice or something like that, it's a lot of stuff you can do in this game. It's actually pretty like ridiculous. So in terms of just like a video game alone, I would say this is worth checking out, even if you're not into Harry Potter.
Oh, nice. Maybe I'll check out some streams. I know a couple of my friends are really excited about that. And I see here it's also coming out to the Switch.
Yeah,
So
I think it's coming out on everything.
Oh man, yeah. If you get your Switch, you can play some Harry Potter or your next gen console, whichever you prefer.
Right. But for all the Harry Potter fans out there, they finally got something that really probably captures the world best out of anything so far.
Nice. Be on the lookout for that if you're into Harry Potter. Is there a release date?
I'm not sure. It probably is, but I'm forgetting.
Let me double check here. I believe it's coming out this year. Let me not lie to nobody. Sorry, Shannon.
There's no more. I don't think you would know, but there's no more Harry Potter movies coming out, right? Like there's none slated in the future.
I don't think
Spin-offs, anything like that.
Yeah, I think they wrapped it up.
Okay.
So I did used to like read and watch Harry Potter when I was in, let's say, like elementary school or so. So I got up to the fourth one. As far as reading the books, I got up to the fourth one, and then watching the movies, whichever the corresponding movie to that book is. So yeah, that's about as far as I got. I know a lot of people that are into it. I just kind of fell off after that fourth one. So right. Yeah, that game is coming out holiday season this year. So end of the year, everyone get ready for some Harry Potter.
Big release, a holiday season.
And we have a patch coming for Marvel Avengers. Josh, are you still play this?
I don't still. Well, I jump into it every once in a while because they give out free items, and I just like grabbing the free items. But I haven't really played it in a while. I'm trying to get some of the people I know with the Xbox to just jump in that game with me and just do a couple missions because it's fun by yourself, but it's more fun when you got like 3 people on the map which you're doing their own thing and they're not AI controlled.
Yeah.
So you feel like you're getting more help, kind of, and I think it's a decent game. I'm kind of like disappointed with all the I forgot, I'm losing the word, but all the bad rap it gets because it's actually like decent, better than a lot of other games out there. Like there's worse games than Marvel Avengers, but I get it. We got super fans out there. Marvel's a huge freaking company, huge amount of fans out there. So people expect them to just be the best at the best, be the best of the best at all times, So
yeah. And
the Guardians of the Galaxy game, like on the other hand, got rave reviews, and it's like I get it. The gameplay is cool, it's different, it's fun, but you literally only control one guy out of the 5 characters, and there's not that much replay value. You run through the campaign and that's it, unless you want to go back and 100% it, and you know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. I'm not willing to say that Guardians of the Galaxy blows away Marvel's Avengers. Like, I'm not there yet. I'm not one of those people. So
Gotcha. Well, yeah, in this patch, we'll have Nick Fury and a couple new missions. And then they said they're reworking the war table. So just keep in mind, it's not Samuel L. Jackson Nick Fury. It is a different take of Nick Fury. But I think this goes to show how hard it is to create good games versus good movies. So like if a huge entity like Marvel is dropping the ball on games, then that just goes to show how tough the video game industry is.
And you know what sucks for them is that this game is supposed to be like a live service game. So right, so supposed to come out with updates, being constantly updated and just be like made better throughout time. But it got such a horrible launch that it's like, do they really want to put the money into this game that everyone hates? Like every time they come out with an update, everyone hates on it. So it's like what do you want them to do at the end of the day? Exactly. They can't, like, the stuff people are complaining about, a lot of it is not going to be fixed. Like it will take a lot of work for them to fix it. So it's like, I mean, take what you can get, you know what I mean? It's similar to the conversation we were going to have about Elden Ring later, like what some people are complaining about and what I was complaining about last episode. So we'll talk about it.
Okay, well, we can get into that because that's next up here on the docket.
Oh, so, nice segue. Look at that. Killing it.
Man, we smooth at this. We holding it down, Shannon.
So what, you got Elden Ring yet?
I did not get it yet, but we can let you talk about it. So let's talk about what's going on here. Accessibility versus difficulty. Get into it, Jaja.
Before we get into that, I know last take I kind of was a little bit hard on Elden Ring, but I wanted to remind everybody, I'm coming in with no Dark Souls experience whatsoever. This is not my wheelhouse. I didn't really like the first Dark Souls when I first played it. So I had that bias probably, but I doubled down. I said, you know what? I'm gonna fully commit and see what's going on with this game. Because like I said last episode, I felt like I was playing the game wrong. Like I felt like I was doing something wrong. Like I was like, there has to be, like, this feels like I'm playing it wrong, right? So I had my boy over, and he's huge into the Dark Souls games, you know, and he's looking at my character. He's like, yo, why you got so much stuff equipped? You're not rolling right. You can't dodge properly. Why you got this, da, da, da. So he started pointing out different things that was wrong with my character. And I was just like, okay, nice. I knew it. I knew I was playing this game wrong. So, and not only that, like I doubled down and just watched a lot of streams and videos. Like I watched videos on different like builds you can get. So from my conclusion, so what I did was I actually started a new character. I went back to the mage that I originally wanted to play. I did a lot of research on the mage class, and this game requires research. I was talking to my friend, and I'm like, yo, there's no quest. I don't really, like, if I talk to a character, like, I got to memorize what he says to do to finish the quest, and it's sometimes a long chain of quests that you got to do. And he's like, yeah, you can just take notes, write it down. I looked at him like he was freaking crazy. I said, wait, there's no way you just told me that you want me to write down notes of a quest in a video game. But it's like, but at the end of the day, it's like a lot of games not require research, but it's fun to do research. It makes the gameplay easier. Like I remember back in the day when WoW first came out, their system of where to find quests and like how to progress through the game wasn't clear. So you had to either mod the game or like get some get a mod that like makes quest finding easier. I remember like it was like that's one of the main reasons why WoW was modded so much is because, you know, it made it easier to play the game. They had a limited amount of spell slots. You were able to mod it to get more, mod it so that you could see the quest. So it's a similar thing. And there's other games that like when I play, I do research on. Like I'm trying to think of a game in particular that I recently played, but certain games. So what I did, I researched the mage build, and I was like, all right, so they tell you where to get these weapons and stuff. And some of the weapons you don't have to wait to get. Like you can just level 1, just run past all the enemies, go get it, and then come back to the start. You know, it's kind of cool. Like that, it makes the open world like, you know, you're not restricted in any way. Like if you want to go to the end game area, you can go to the end game area and just get destroyed. And so I think that's kind of cool because. So okay, I grabbed my weapon. I got a nice sword, a nice staff that scales good with mine. And then the you had to learn like different terms like scaling. What is this weapon scales good with intelligence? I'm like, what the hell are you guys talking about? Like really, I gotta learn all the terms and like really figure out what the stats do and like because I feel like if you're just playing the game and just leveling up and just throwing your points around and like spreading it out and trying to like build what you think is best, more than half the time your character is going to reach a limit where he's not going to be able to get past because his specs are not to his strengths. You know what I mean? Like they really want you to know how you want to play your character so that you can get weapons and get the stats to fit that character. Gotcha. So once I understood that, made the game a lot easier. Like I think the first boss, I forget his name, but he's near the castle, Stormwall Castle, that a lot of people talk about. It's like, oh, why is this end game boss like the first boss you played? I beat him relatively easy. Like I think I went in there unprepared, had one of my spells, like a spell that I wasn't even gonna use, and like I just beat him with the basic attack spell. It wasn't like my character was ready for it, put it like that. So I'm at the point where my character can explore and I'm going to different areas and I'm just like really like exploring the map. Like you really like this is the first game where like I'm really like going, oh, this little hill I haven't been to. Let me go check out what's on this hill. Let me go check out what's in this little corner right here. Let me like it's like that. And then when you do that, you find fun little items everywhere. Like they make it worth your while to explore the map. And if you find a difficult enemy, just do what everyone else does. Run around them.
Okay, so is that how people are doing their speed runs?
Unless you get trapped in like an instance, but yeah, I mean, I guess so. There's a lot of enemies you don't have to beat. I think there's required bosses, but a lot of them you don't even have to like touch. It's at your discretion. Whoever you want to go fight, you can. If you want to just run through the story, you can. If you want to go try and beat everybody at low level, you can. Like it's however you want to play the game. So coming to this topic that we have right now, I ran into this video, right? I don't know if there's anything you want to say right now, because I've been talking mad long about Elden Ring.
Oh, no, yeah, we'll let you have it right now. I know nothing about Elden Ring.
All right, so this video that I watched, there was a guy that is, I guess he's big on accessibility in games. Pretty much that's like when game developers think of like how to make games easier to play for like handicapped people, different instances where it's a special, like you need something designed specifically for you. Kind of, in a sense. It's probably a little bit more general than what I'm making it, but it's like if people like they might add something for colorblind people, they might make the text make you able to adjust the text so that the text is bigger for people who can't see too good. Like stuff like that is accessibility issues. And this guy was explaining how a lot of people confuse accessibility with difficulty. So he found a video of a guy, it was two handicapped guys talking, and they were just saying how like Elden Ring is it's like the most inaccessible game ever created. Like it's not made for everyone. And true, it's in my opinion, it's not made for everyone. Like this game is definitely not for everyone, even though everyone seems to be into it. It's kind of like crazy like that. But so in their point, they began talking about stuff like the text size and like the contrast of the colors, whatever, real accessibility issues. And then he started to say like, oh, it doesn't give you a notification or an indicator of when an enemy is trying to attack you from this direction, or it doesn't give you indicators of where to go with the quest, or like it doesn't, like he was saying like I didn't say, he didn't say this point, but it's something that he would say like, oh, it didn't show like the weak point on a boss so that I know where to hit. You know what I mean? Stuff like that is like, that's not really accessibility. It's more difficulty. The game is supposed to be difficult, so you're mad at the game being difficult. it's like, and then the guy was also getting into, he's like, I don't think every game is for everyone. He thinks it limits gaming the way game developers have to try to include every single person in all the games. Like some games you're not going to be able to play because too hard, whatever the case may be. Like that's what it is. So I thought it was an interesting topic, that because I was thinking a lot about my take and how I was complaining about not knowing where to go, and like a lot of the things he was saying, as like I was complaining about the difficulty of the game pretty much. And it's like, bro, if you're signing up to play a difficult game, then get better at the game, which is exactly what the game wants you to do, unfortunately. But if you do it, it pays off. It's like you feel rewarded beating these big ass intimidating bosses and like getting through it. Like it feels it's an accomplishment. And I don't know. I'm just that's where I'm at in my Elden Ring journey right now.
Nice. So you got a little more concentrated rather than trying to build like a well all around built character. You're like, all right, I'm a mage and I'm sticking to that. So that's what you say was probably key to you enjoying the game more. Gotcha. Yeah, so that's kind of how I am in Cyberpunk. So that's an RPG. But so initially starting off, I was like, all right, I'm gonna make the most well-rounded character I can. I'm gonna be good at everything. But you know, I don't. It's not really designed for you to be good at everything. It's like, all right, you gotta excel at something.
Right.
Because yeah, certain stats kind of hinder you from like being able to play the game. So like, Cyberpunk is essentially GTA but futuristic. So, but to be able to steal cars, your body stat has to be at a certain level. So let's say if you're not strong enough, you can't steal cars because like you're not strong enough to steal cars. Or if you don't have enough street cred, you can't get certain weapons because you don't have enough street cred. So yeah, it's one of those where like being well-rounded probably would hurt you more than it will help you. So you got to say, all right, I'm going to be this type of character. I'm going to make this type of build, and I'll excel at the game. So I can now that I've been playing Cyberpunk, I can see what you mean. Where you like, all right, I got to be a mage. I'm gonna level up my stats to play towards that mage ability set.
Right.
Okay, that sounds like a solid game.
It's pretty crazy because the first character I made, I probably had like 15 hours in on his save file, and I did every single thing plus some in that I did with that first character in like 2 or 3 hours with my next character. And you remember I was complaining about, oh, I'm wandering around for hours, not knowing what to do. Da, 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 da. Maybe because my freaking dumb behind was wandering around the same freaking area all day. Why don't I go explore? And I guess that's what triggers like the story progression, like the more areas you unlock. Because I noticed when I ran all the way to the end game to get my weapon and came back, but when I saved, like it went through all those story progressions that like you get your horse. It tells you like the lady comes talk to you at the campfire a couple of times. When in the first time I played, it took a while for her to come talk to me. And I guess it's because I stayed in that beginner area. But yeah, Elden Ring, there's a learning curve to it. If you're not willing to learn and get better, don't play the game. Don't complain about how hard it is. It's meant to be super hard. It was meant to piss you off. You're meant to die over and over again. And now everyone's making a bunch of dollars off streams because people will sit down and watch you die at this game over and over if you're funny at dying. If you have hilarious commentary, I will watch you die over and over in this game. And there's some YouTubers that are really good at it. And I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, that tends to be the streams I watch too. Is either they're funny and entertaining, or they're informative. So like people are teaching you how to play or get better at the game. I tend to watch those, or if they're just entertaining to watch. Like, all right, this guy's comedic. He's like role playing seriously, and it's funny every time he dies. So yeah, those are typically the best watch streams or the most watched streams.
There's one that I watch. I would shout out the channel if I remembered it. It's like RJD2 or something. I think it begins with an R, and it's like whatever. So he does game streams, and in his Elden Ring streams, he actually has a boy that sounds like he knows the game a lot better. So you can hear him in the side like trying to like help him out, and at times he'd be like, "Nah, I got this," and at times like he lets him help him out, and he's funny as hell. So it's entertaining.
Nice. Maybe we can get you and Shannon to stream it. We'll get a Blerdsnerds stream going.
You don't want to see that.
All right, we'll let you guys embarrass you. We'll let you guys get a little more versed in the Elden Ring world.
Maybe Shannon will summon me to help her, and we can get a little clip in.
Yeah, run some co-op mode. Is it co-op considered, or is it just you summon to the world?
I'm not that familiar with that part of the game yet, but it sounds like you can summon an ally, or someone can invade your game.
You know what? I saw a video of someone invading someone else's game and they're doing like
Mhm.
a trade. And so they stole all the stuff that they were trading and then they ran away. It was hilarious.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, that was funny.
Don't tell me they were doing that glitch in the game that we were talking about a couple weeks ago, where people were meeting up to sell their runes, but you would actually meet up in the game to trade. That's how you would do it.
Yeah, I don't know if it was weapons. So it was like some swords. And then
Okay.
they had like dropped the swords on the ground, and then the guy came into the world and he just ran, took the swords and left. Well, first he like fought him a little bit. Then he took the swords while they were like trying to fight him, and then he ran away.
That's
It
funny.
was, it
Yeah,
was
that
pretty
reminds me
sad.
so much of the Division, the Dark Zone and the Division. I don't know if you ever played that game, but it's
Oh, yeah,
like
I'm
that.
familiar with it.
You'll be going through it trying to get to the extraction point with, because the monsters in there give you really good loot. So like you'll go kill a bunch of monsters, you're right at the extraction, and another person will come take all your crap and then extract himself and leave. It's the worst feeling in the world.
Sheesh.
Like, so I mean
Hopefully they
that's
do
some,
figure out.
yeah, that was about to say that sums up my Elden Ring stuff for this week.
Jaja has converted to Elden Ring Stan.
I'm
I think
fully committed.
I may be the last man standing. We'll see. We'll see if I get it. I'm definitely I'm immersed in Cyberpunk right now, though. So I got a good reason why I'm not playing it. Not just because
Right.
I'm holding off and hating on it, but it sounds like it's pretty fun. In the videos that I've seen, it looks like a fun game. I mean, besides the dying, but if you can
Mhm.
if you can accept the fact that that is part of the game, then it looks like you'll have a good time.
And I think they just recently updated it and they nerfed a bunch of like they nerfed a bunch of things that made like some OP builds too OP. So
Mhm.
they kind of like adjusted some things. So there's probably a bunch of people mad trying to figure out a new build right
Oh yeah, they probably got to rework their whole build,
now. Because you
or
know
at least
people
the
find a way
strats.
to cheese through the game, and the
Oh,
game was not
absolutely.
meant to be cheesed through. So they were like, nope, I'm gonna split that damage in half. How about that? Cheese
Sheesh.
through that.
Well, we'll see what the future of speed runs looks like for Elden Ring.
Yep.
All right, let's move on to some TV and movie news. All right, so we want to give a rest in peace to William Hurt, aka Thunderbolt Ross.
Yes,
He's
rest in
passed
peace.
away pretty recently. Were you familiar with much of his work?
Besides Marvel, I think I've seen in him a couple things. I really can't say specifically, but I was really looking forward to him in the Marvel universe. I think he had a future um with the whole Thunderbolt Ross. Like, I think he could have became like the Red Hulk or something like that. Like, I thought he was gonna play a major role in the MCU. Like, it's one of those um oh my god, his name is the Black Panther is kind of giving me a similar feeling. Like, wow, you had like more work to do and you just unfortunately passed in the middle of it. So unfortunately, oh
Yeah, definitely sad news for the MCU. Um, but speaking of more MCU, we got a Miss Marvel trailer. Did you check it out?
yes, I did.
Nice, I checked it out too. All right, what are your first thoughts?
I am super excited.
Yeah, it looked
I
like
don't
a
know
good
if I'm.
trailer.
It's just coming off of this Hawkeye like dull that I'm in, because I'm really like on a low at Disney shows coming off the Hawkeye, because I thought that was like the worst one to come out so far. And this Miss Marvel show looks like it's gonna turn it around. And Moon Knight. Moon Knight's about to
Oh
come
yeah,
out too.
yeah. Like I
But
miss having a Marvel show to look forward to, kind of week to week. So that'll bring that back.
right.
But yeah, I'm
This
definitely
like
excited for this one.
like Kamala Khan, she to me, I feel like she could be like the 2022 Spider-Man, you know?
Mhm.
Like this kid that's like super relatable, gets these powers, doesn't really know what to do with them, looked up to superheroes her whole life from a different culture. Like she could, like, I don't know, she has the potential to become really popular, I think.
Oh yeah.
And so far from the trailer, depending on what they do with the Marvels, the show that they're coming out with after that, like I don't know, she could have a huge future. Definitely a young Avenger, I think. She has to be on the squad.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. But yeah, this looks good. So we'll see how her show unfolds. So they have, it's streaming June 8th. So coming out this summer. We got the first trailer out. I'm not sure if we'll get another trailer, but if they do, I'm gonna have to check that out. But yeah, Miss Marvel is coming on June 8th, and the trailer's out now if you guys are interested in that. All right, what else we got in Marvel news?
What else? What else?
Their potential Dareboot.
Yeah, they said they're filming a Daredevil reboot. I guess the speculating as to whether they're gonna make anything canon from the Netflix series is still not clear. From the way the actor sounds, he did a recent interview recently, and it sounds like like him personally, he wants to redo the whole character. Like, yeah, give a fresh take on the character and just start him off in the MCU. But we'll see what happens because they just pulled all these shows over. And I know the Daredevil reboot show isn't coming out anytime soon. So maybe by the time it comes out, people forgot about those shows and we're able to start fresh. Or if they make everything canon, I wouldn't necessarily be mad. I'll just be mad that in those shows they didn't reference the movies more. Like they started off in season 1 of Daredevil, but it kind of fell off after that.
Yeah, so for continuity's sake, do you think it would make more sense to kind of just reboot it and start fresh, or kind of work its way back into it, starting from where they left off?
If there's anyone that can make the continuity make sense, it's Marvel. I'm pretty sure they could find a way that they didn't reference each other throughout this whole time, or you know what I mean? They're like, they'll find a way if there is a way, but I don't know whether they should do it or not. Like, I would have to see how it's done, to be honest.
Okay, yeah, I trust Marvel to take care of this in the appropriate way. All right, let's see what else is going on. TV movie. The Boys season 3. The trailer. Well, it's been revealed. A teaser for it at South by Southwest.
Mm-hmm. Are you up to date?
That out? I actually don't watch The Boys.
Ooh, shame.
Yeah.
I've only seen the first season though, so we cool. We good. I plan on watching it. Just so much stuff on my plate that I haven't got to it.
Same here.
But The Boys I enjoyed it. I'm trying to remember like how I felt about when I saw it. Like, I don't think I was like, oh, this is the best show in the universe, but it was a pretty interesting superhero show. It's different.
Got it.
Amazon. It kind of feels like Invincible, but live action. And did you see they're coming out with the Boys like animated?
Yeah, the cartoon version. Yeah.
Right. So that's pretty cool. And I'm looking forward to it. I guess I don't know how popular The Boys are, but like it's a decent show. Probably not for everybody though. I'm gonna say that show is not for everybody.
Yeah, it wasn't for
me. Very
me.
graphic. It's very, I'm not gonna say raunchy, but it's very like edgy. Like very. If you have a soft heart, like if you're not into all the quote unquote, I'm trying to find the right word. I don't want to say the wrong word. Like, I don't know. There's some really like graphic things that might need some parental controls, definitely.
Gotcha.
Like,
so younger fans, be careful watching this.
Right.
But yeah, well, I think Shannon watches The Boys, so maybe she can talk more to her excitement when she gets back. I'm actually waiting on Invincible. That's what I really want to see. Invincible season 2. Hopefully, my boy Mark starts taking some W's because he just took L's the entire first season.
Right. I tried to find that where the comic is or manga, whatever, webtoon. I tried to read it because you can go farther than where they're at right now, but I didn't.
I might read that one myself.
Yeah, they have volumes of that out. And I kind of know a little bit of what happens in ahead, but I'm not going to say it and spoil it. But definitely looking out for that.
We definitely appreciate that. All right, let's get into some AOT. This past week's episode, you got any commentary to drop?
Which this past week's episode was what happened? I'm trying to remember. Oh,
they were trying to steal the boat. I mean, steal the flying boat. Yeah.
So I'm obviously enjoying it, and like I've been saying, I've been watching the dub, so I've been really, really enjoying the dub. So like, I don't know if that's kind of like put a damper on my Japanese episodes because like now I'm not really like too into the Japanese episode. I'm waiting for like I want to see this episode dubbed. I get to see it animated, great, but now when it's dubbed, I get the whole thing. That's how I feel right now.
Right.
So I'm kind of sad because I know what happens this next episode today. Like, I'm a little bit sad because a lot of stuff is going to happen. And, you know, there should be a really big battle the next 2-3 episodes. So these past two was a lot of talk, a lot of dialogue, a lot of setup, and we're about to get to the action.
Yeah, we're
I
back
think
to
what
the
is
action
it
now.
this week, next week, and then we got a break, and then the final episode. Is that how it is? I think the last
exactly
episode
like that.
Right. So yeah, I'm looking like I'm ready for it to end at this point. I just want to see the ending. That's how I feel right now.
I want to see, do they change anything or do they keep it the same?
Right. And I'm ready for all the uproar and all the hoopla that's gonna come with it.
Yeah,
I'm ready for that.
The reaction videos, the memes.
Yep.
The
Including
hot
mine, including my video that's gonna
yeah.
my little rant that I want to go on. But yes, Attack on Titan is still my favorite show ever.
Yeah. So anyone that's watching and thinks, you know what, it's been kind of slow. This last season sucks. The action is picking back up. We can say that much. So yeah, they're fighting the Jaegers.
And that dialogue was important. There was some important stuff said. And
some big gems were dropped. So if you guys want to rewatch it, check out like, oh, what did I miss maybe? Because I know the action picked back up and usually people are like action heavy, makes them forget the dialogue. But yeah.
Right. And some
important discussions were had this episode.
You want to know why I think that whole, not the past episode, but the one before that where they were at the campfire talking, why I think that episode is so important. And I've even seen it on social media, but they come at it as like, they say, oh, the words Marco said before he died were the most important. You ever seen that, any videos like or headlines saying that?
No, I haven't seen that.
So right before Berthold and Reiner killed Marco and he discovered them, he was like, yo, we haven't even had the chance to talk this out. Like, you guys are just gonna kill me because I found out. And yeah, that's what they did. They didn't talk to him about it, they just killed him. So now that they're having this whole conversation and Jean is finding out that story about Marco, because Jean was really distressed about what happened to Marco. No one knew even how he died, which we don't even, like, you didn't know that for half the people out there, but being that Marco was so close to the cadets, they want to know like how he went out, like what happened. He was with us, next second he's not. So that whole episode, them actually sitting there talking it out from all different perspectives. You had the Marleys, you had the Eldians, you had the Eldians that were on Marley. Like they all talked it out that episode, and that was like the whole point. That's what Armin keeps saying sometimes. He's like, "Yo, can't we just talk to the enemy first? Let's try to talk it out. Like we just gonna go kill each other, keep killing each other over and over years, thousands of years later, without actually sitting down to talk." And yeah, this show just reminds me so much of like real life. There's so many parallels to the real, what's happening in the real world between nations and races, that it's just like, yeah, this like senseless killing is like almost just so sad.
Yeah. At some point there needs to be a sit down and figure out, all right, what are we even fighting about anymore? So yeah, Jaegerists, Marlians, it looks like they're kind of joined forces now after their campfire talks, and they're helping, well, the former Jaegerists, that's to say, and now they're fighting the Jaegerists. They got to steal their airplane, and now we got to go figure out where Aaron is and see if we can't talk to this guy, see if we can't get him to stop this rumbling.
Right. And it's like a huge blame game going on, because where we start off in the story, like those Eldians, are devils, right? And the people in the main world, they hate them because they can turn into Titans. And the Eldians that are on the mainland are mad because they left, and then the Marleys are mad because they can turn into Titans and eat them at any time. But then if you go back in history, the Eldians were the ones who did that same thing to Marley, and Marley's only doing what the Eldians did to them. Literally, like the Eldians conquered them, subjugated them, made them do all this, treated them like crap. And as soon as Marley got a chance to take the upper hand, they did. And now it's coming full circle to where the new Eldians that don't know nothing about the old Eldians are like doing the same thing. They're like, oh, we're getting subjugated. Oh, we see an opening for us to come up because, we got these two Titans. They're weak. They're fighting a whole bunch of other wars because the other people see that they're weak. And it's like, now you're paying for all the crimes, not crimes, but all the way you treated people these few years. And it's just a cycle. And then, so that now these new Eldians are doing it. And then now you got the younger versions of the Marley Eldians over there, AKA Gabby, talking about she's going to do it right back to the Eldian. It's like, I find this so fascinating, this show. It's so crazy.
Exactly. History is repeating itself.
Right.
In real time.
And there was even like one of the most recent episodes I watched, right? It was the episode where They went into Marley, destroyed everything. They're exiting on the ship. Gabby kills Sasha, right? Right before Gabby goes on the airship, she says to Falco, like, yo, I'm going to go on this airship. Whatever happens to me, like, I'm going to sacrifice myself for you guys. I want you guys to live a long life. I'm doing this for y'all. Like, even if I have to sacrifice myself. And I was there in shock. Like, yo, they keep saying the same thing throughout the whole episode. How can no one understand Aaron? That's his whole freaking thing right there. That's his goal in life. I want to fight. If we don't fight, we die. That's it. That's what Attack on Titan. If we don't fight, we freaking die. That's it.
Yeah,
The Eldians are dead if Aaron didn't do what he did. So it doesn't matter to me that, it only gave them 100 more years. You would have had no years. So that's where I'm at.
Gotcha. So we got an episode this week. More battle, and then they kind of travel to where Aaron is, I think, from.
Yeah, they're looking for Aaron right now. They're trying to get the plane and trying to get to Aaron. They're gonna run into a little difficulties this episode. Some stuff gonna pop off, and unfortunately, somebody's gotta die.
Just follow the steam. You'll find out where Aaron is, and then we can try to talk to him best we can.
This episode, I feel like, is gonna be the sad episode.
This one,
I'm just thinking there's a lot of things in the rumbling that we saw in the manga that they haven't shown yet. And then there's a big something that happens at that port they're at.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, there's going to be a ton of deaths in this next episode.
Well, by the time you guys are hearing this, you will have seen all the carnage that we're referring to right now. So.
Oh yeah, this comes out after the episodes. Yeah, I'm expecting millions of people to die this episode.
Yeah,
it's like it's gonna be babies, kids, everybody's getting it. Aaron's a beast. Everyone's gonna hate Aaron after this episode. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, live look at what the rumbling actually is doing. All right, let's get into something a little bit different. Bel Air, you want to talk about your first 2 episodes that you've seen? What's your thoughts so far?
I want to hear you talk about it real quick.
Okay, Bel Air. After the first episode, I was like, all right, this show is absolute fire. I think I binged pretty much every single episode that was out at the time when I first saw it. Like that first day I watched the first episode. So I think maybe there were five or 6 episodes. And I started it on a Sunday. So it was like after the pod, I was like, I'm gonna watch this. So I watched it. And then I was like, all right, I'm gonna be late to work tomorrow or whatever. I'm gonna be up all night watching this because this is that good. So it's really that good. That whole spoken word thing that kind of like turned me off, and then thinking of the dramatization of Bel Air. But yeah, I definitely, my opinion completely changed from the initial release to actually watching it. So I like it a lot. I don't like Carlton. I can throw that out there. I'm a Carlton hater in this show, at least to the point where you are. I'm not sure if he does get some character development. That's the one thing I do like is everyone gets character development. So everyone has their own arcs. Everyone has, a role that they play. They're not just comedic relief. Like everyone has an actual development in this story. Even Jazz kind of gets some personification in the show. So I know before in the older one, Jazz kind of just showed up here and there just to get thrown out the house essentially. But he has an actual role. Jeffrey, his a bit mysterious, but he has a role too. Uncle Phil gets his own character arc. He's doing his politician thing. Aunt Viv gets her arc. Yeah, everyone gets an arc, and even young Ashley, she has her own like character development too. So I do appreciate that. It's definitely a different take. So if it's when it comes to reboots, like if you're going to reboot it and even change the entire genre of it, look at this as an example. Not to say that I'm encouraging reboots because we get reboots of everything, but this is a reboot done right in my eyes.
At this point, I feel like there should be an award section for reboots, and this one should win every year for like the next 5 years.
Yeah, this is the standard. This is the standard of reboot.
Honestly, James, how I feel about this show, like I know I just got off Attack on Titan saying that that's the best show ever in time. Bro, the first episode, by the time I got 3/4 of the first episode, I was like, this show might be the best show I've ever seen in my whole entire life. Like it's really that good. From the acting, there is no one who's a bad actor in that show. acting is freaking amazing. Like the way, like, I'm about to say it. This might be better than Fresh Prince. This might be better than the original.
Ooh, hot take.
I'm willing to say that, yeah. Because
Nice.
the way I feel is like, all right, if we're looking at it as in terms of a comedy sitcom thing, Fresh Prince hands down wins. Like incredible replay value. It's probably one of the best sitcoms ever, and it's just a laugh out loud show. Like you're gonna laugh to Will Smith. There's no way you can't laugh to Fresh Prince.
Right.
But this one, just like the whole theme of the show, like it's a kid coming up from West Philly, the hood. He's coming from the gutter. We didn't know he was good at basketball in Fresh Prince, but I'm glad that they highlighted that in this one because it raises the stakes. You know what I mean? He's got a scholarship. He's about to go D1. He's looking to go to the league, and then he gets caught up in some BS off of just one night of just trying to have fun. And then they showed his whole swag in Philly, like he was that man in Philly. So when he came to, so in Fresh Prince, when we see Will doing his thing in Bel Air with his swag, and it's like, bro, now we know where you got it from. Yo, you were the dude in Philly. They didn't show that part in Fresh Prince. We didn't know how he was in Philly. We just assumed he was just some regular ghetto kid from any hood. You know what I mean? And then the whole like, the jokes and stuff were cool, but it was like kind of like slapstick humor. Like the whole point of Fresh Prince was to make you laugh. But if you really look at the plot and the story of what the show was, that show was supposed to be what this is. It's supposed to be real. It's supposed to make you feel some type of way. You're supposed to get sad, mad, cry. You're supposed to, like, this show is some of the realest stuff I've ever seen in a show. And then it's not, and then I like okay, in Fresh Prince, you could feel like the different sitcoms back then, like an episode was themed around a topic, and they do that today too. Like, let's say they're talking about, I don't know, peer pressure, or like, you know, some little topic that happens in a lot of people's lives that people could relate to. But this one, like, you don't feel it. You don't feel that they're hitting on these subjects, but they are. They're like hitting them on the head. Like every character, Carlton, I know you say you don't like Carlton, and I know why. I get it, why you don't like him. But what they did with his character in this show, I cannot appreciate it more, because I don't know. I feel like it's so real, because I know I went to school in Long Island, right? And I'm not saying I went to school with a bunch of rich kids, but at my school, Black people were the minority. You ran into some, you know, wealthy kids. And then I personally met Black kids that grew up in the suburbs, and they were around white kids all day. And you could tell the difference between a Black kid that grew up in the hood and a Black kid that didn't. Or the Black kid that wants to be hood, but he's from the suburbs, or there's all different variations of us that it's like, I understand how this kid could feel this way. Like, he's grew up in this family, wealthy his whole life. Of course, he's not going to care if white kids say nigga. He doesn't know what that word means. It don't mean nothing to him. You know what I mean? Like, he's going to relate to them more than he relates to the struggle, you know? So it's like, oh my God. And he's doing drugs and stuff. I'm like, this is crazy.
or he feels the pressure to kind of like let things slide to keep his social standing at school. Because I mean, he had to work to get there anyways.
Right. So at the end of the second episode, when Will's in the ice bath, and he's pretty much telling him like, yo, bro, like, look out for me, because you think you're running stuff right now. But when everybody see out here that you the fake Black person and I'm the quote unquote real Black person, and you only cool because they never seen the real stuff. With, you know what I mean? That was such a, that scene right there. I was like, damn, like this whole relationship between Carlton and Will is so much more complex and dynamic than it was in the original show. I have nothing bad to say about the show. Absolutely nothing. I was trying to find something bad. I can't find nothing bad to say about the show. Like, I really can't.
Yeah, everything is like rooted in reality. So, I mean, whether you've gone through it yourself or you've seen it firsthand, it's like everything is, the way they tackle everything, it's extremely realistic. So like even Carlton and Will's dynamic of like, they come from two different worlds, but they're still Black at the end of the day. So like the experiences they face, I don't want to get into like any spoilers for you, but like you can see how someone from this world may handle it this way or expect things to go this way versus someone from another world is like this is business as usual for me. But I mean, you're not used to this side of like being Black. it's all rooted in just straight reality. So whoever the writers are, everyone, we definitely gotta give them their kudos because
And I can tell Uncle Phil's arc is gonna be crazy because I can already see like he's reaching for this political goal. And then you could see that one scene with him and Jeffrey where he's playing the rap music and he's taking it back to when him and Aunt Viv was back. Oh my, I was like, oh my God.
yep.
I
I think Uncle Phil might be my favorite character in the show, honestly.
This is how I felt off the trailer though. But I'm so happy that they didn't mess it up and the show is actually better than the trailer. I didn't think they could make it better than the trailer.
I was hating from the trailer, but yeah, they for sure made me a believer.
They killed this. Yo, Jeffrey is the man. The way his whole swag, like everybody's swag is so crazy. Like and all the topics are so heavy. It feels like so much is at risk and like, oh my God, this show is freaking. And then the actor who plays Will Smith's character, right? I don't think he looks too much like Will. Like, I don't think, like, yeah, if you think he does, I get it. But there are some scenes, like, I'm not saying he sounds like Will all the time, but like some of the mannerisms he does and the voice, sometimes I can close my eyes and just hear and just think it's Will Smith. Like, if I wasn't watching it, I would think it was Will Smith doing the scene. Because he had and his Philly accent is way better than Will's. Way better.
Yeah. So he's actually from Philly. So that definitely will help him out. I think, yeah, Shannon and I, we kind of looked into it a couple episodes ago. But yeah, he's from Philly. This is his first like breakthrough role. He's on the map. This kid is going to be a star.
Bro, the way he's doing, he is killing. And I can tell that if Will wasn't a part of this project, he probably wouldn't have been killing it as good. But you can tell Will Smith sat down with him and was like, yo, this isn't what I used to do. This is the head movement I used to do, my little John thing. Like there was a scene where him and Carlton got serious when he pushed him into the pool. And I think he like looked away, looked at him and was like, yo, you a sucker. The way he did it was just like, yo, that's like the same exact way Will would have did it. Yeah, so I don't know.
He spent an extended amount of time with like Will Smith in person to kind of like be able to mimic his memory, his mannerisms and stuff like that.
He got it. And like, yeah.
Man,
I got a number of good things to say.
we definitely got to follow up next week and see what you think about everyone's character developments, the show development, and then even the topics they take on in the future episodes.
And I like that Will's supposed to be a funny guy, but like the jokes don't come off as like forced or like we here to see jokes. You know what I mean? He makes a joke, it's in the natural flow of things.
Yeah, everything about the show is just
this show it's great.
Yeah, it's natural. Awesome. It's realistic. This is a 10 out of 10 for me.
By the way, the mansion, the Bel Air mansion, makes the Fresh Prince mansion look like child's play.
Yeah, that mansion is beautiful. The landscape, the scenery. Maybe that's what Jeffrey does. I don't know what Jeffrey actually does as a butler. Well, we still have yet to find out. But yeah, the landscaping, just the house is always clean.
But who doesn't want a butler like Jeffrey? He's like part of the fam. You know what I mean?
Oh, like, yeah, he's definitely.
He's not family. My butler. That's my dude. Say something if you're outside the fam. Say something.
Exactly. What up, G? That's what we should title this one. What up, G?
He called him Idris when he first saw him. Oh my God.
Yeah, but I think in his backstory, he's Jamaican, but he grew up in England.
Yeah, in London. Yep.
Which awesome. Awesome show. Definitely. I'm a huge.
I think that's what Jeffrey's background was. I don't know if he was born in London, but I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. I'm not sure. It's tough because they didn't really like give him too much shine. But yeah,
I'm waiting for them to get like they got into Hillary's arc, so I'm really feeling her arc, but I'm waiting for them. They just started on. I feel like they're just starting on Aunt Viv's arc when the daughter was telling her like, yo, you want all this for me, but you sat here and became a teacher instead of actually doing your craft. I was like, they about to get started on it.
Right. They even have like mother-daughter conflict nailed. Like, and nothing feels forced. Like, it's like, oh man, I can't speak highly enough of this show.
Right.
Has it been announced a renewal? Have they announced season 2?
Man, this show better go on for until he don't got no more episodes. You know, give him the green light. What? How much you want your check? What you need?
Yeah, they are carrying Peacock right now. That's the only thing I watch up there. So yes,
right. And I will watch it 10 times. I have no problem watching the show over 10 times.
Right. I mess around, restart it before it finishes. So I think there's 2-3 episodes left. I think it was only 10 episodes this first season.
Okay, last time I checked, there was 8 of them out. So dag, only 2 more, but
Check.
at least I got 8 left to go, so I'm good. I'm
Oh, yeah,
really enjoying this. I was so mad by the end of the first episode. I was happy because it was so good, but then mad because it took me so long to watch it. And I'm like, oh, after how big I was on the trailer, I was so mad it took me so long to actually sit down and watch it. But it blew my mind away, hit every expectation I had, and then some. And I'm probably gonna watch the show as soon as we get off the pod. Like that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to your thoughts on once you get caught up. So yeah, by the time you get caught up, it'll be up to episode 9. So we'll have a new episode to talk about as well. So it won't just be catch up hour. Hopefully Shannon will be caught up as well. I think they drop on Thursdays, so we'll have from Thursday to Sunday to check out the newest episode.
Right. And then before I forget, I don't know if you peeped in the first episode, like some of the dialogue were like quotes from the theme song. Like I like how they like, oh God. So the show is so good.
Exactly.
So
yeah, they got good. All the callbacks are
when he
appropriate.
Started to quote, yeah, he calling back the theme song. I was like, no, he didn't just say that. That was a line from the theme song.
Exactly. And it didn't feel weird. Like they
Not at
shoehorned it
all.
in. Man,
and Jazz looks like he's about to be a dope character too. I love, there is nothing bad I can say about this show. So I'm gonna stop talking right now.
Same. Yeah, we running that into the ground, but it definitely deserves it. So whatever awards this gets nominated for, it'll be a pure steal if it doesn't win the award, because this show deserves it.
Even the music that they play. Oh,
yeah, the soundtrack is great, underscore is great. Everything is good.
I can't find nothing bad.
Wardrobe, dialogue, acting, script, it's all on point. They can take their time with season 2. Don't take your time, but take your time. Give us the same quality.
Just keep it up, man. Just keep up whatever you're doing. Don't let no one switch it up. Do what you do.
It's working. Hopefully nobody gets money hungry and is like, nah, I deserve more money. I mean, you deserve more money, but the formula is working. Stick to the formula.
If this was this kid's vision, man, we about to pull a whole bunch of directors off the street and say, yo, come, start filming. You guys go crazy. Because the people out here, they say making the same crap over and over. Tired of it.
Exactly. Yeah, we didn't need a sitcom. I didn't know that the drama version was what I needed, but yeah, this is the best show I've seen in a long, long time.
Yeah, I'm done. I can't say no more about this show.
All right. Well, you got any other things you wanna talk about this week before we wrap it up?
That's probably it for me.
Let me check my nerdy things, make sure I
hopefully this continues being good content for me and I don't come ranting about something I hate next week.
Yeah. Well, we can talk more about Ranking the Kings next week when Shannon gets back too. So
and now YouTube's giving me a whole bunch of Ranking the Kings videos talking about these YouTubers talking about it 3 months ago. Nah, I said it first. Don't give me all these videos agreeing with me like I stole their opinion. Nah, that was me.
Oh, you heard it here first at Blerdsnerds podcast.
Ranking the Kings is that show. Check it out if you need a new anime.
I'm liking that too. All right. Well, if there's nothing else, you guys can, let's see if I don't butcher this outro. Like us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter at Blerdsnerds. Oh, Facebook as well, Blerdsnerds. Send us an email, blerdsnerds@gmail.com. Don't forget to like, rate, review, and subscribe on your podcast listening app of choice.
Mm-hmm.
How's that sound, Jaja? Did I do it well?
All that good stuff. All the above.
All right.
Check us out.
We try our
any
best.
way you can.
Yeah. If you guys want to follow us on Instagram, interact with our posts, we'll post a little bit more, but we post up there.
Yeah.
So
any questions y'all want us to answer? Any topics? Hit us up on the YouTube. Instagram,
anyone want to be a special guest? Hit us up. We haven't had a guest in a while, so yeah, we're looking for some guests. We'll get some special guests up here. If you guys have something that just near and dear to your heart that you want to share with the world.
I talked to my boy. I was like, yo, you should come on the pod because he's into Yu-Gi-Oh and Dark Souls. So those 2 things is what I want him to talk about specifically. But he's into a lot of stuff. So
gotcha. Yeah, we definitely encourage guests.
Yes.
But
it's the Birds and Nerds podcast, you know?
Exactly. I just have my Dr. Stone shirt on right now, but.
Oh wait, I heard the Dr. Stone manga is done. I think I'm about to jump back into that.
Oh, I should probably read that. Nah, I like watching it.
That manga's
But,
good.
yeah.
The manga's good for Dr. Stone.
But yeah. Anyways, outro. That was pretty solid. Hopefully we did Shannon proud. Until next time, guys. I'm James.
I'm Jaja.
All right. See you guys.
Peace.
How do I stop the recording? Oh.